So this is my 1980 Mercury Capri. It was sitting for 27 years, from December of 1998 until November of 2024, when I went and got it out of my parents' garage where it had been sitting for that long. This car is very special to me. It was the car that I was brought home in when I was born. From the hospital, this car brought me home. And I always had dreams of restoring it and putting it back on the road again. This is a picture of me when I'm about 4 years old putting oil in this engine. So again, you can see this car has a lot of sentimental value to me, and I'd always wanted to bring it back to its former glory. These are the pictures of when I picked it up from my parents' garage in Pennsylvania and brought it down to Delaware, where I worked on it starting in November of, like I said, 2024. And this is the journey that it went on. Best sight in the world. She's not locked. Alright, so here we are. The 1980 Mercury Capri. It's been sitting since, I don't know. Let's see here. Last registered in 98. I think I saw something on the tag that said 2000, but so it's at least 24 years. Got the wrong size battery, of course, in there. I already cranked it over by hand. We're going to see what happens here when I hook up the battery. Hopefully we don't catch on fire. See what happens. And so next piece of progress, I've taken obviously the air cleaner off there, and I've disconnected the fuel line between there and there so I can make sure that there's nothing in the tank. I'm going to run a line from there into a drain tank, and if the fuel pump's working, it'll push all that old fuel out. I'm going to hook up electric fuel pump with good gas, put it running right into there, right into the carburetor, and see what happens. Alright, so here's the fuel setup, and I'll see what happens. I don't anticipate anything will happen, but let's give her a couple of pumps. Check things. Alright, sprayed a little bit of fluid in there. Let's see if anything happens. Hey! That was something. Alright, we definitely got fuel flow now. Let's see what happens. Ooh. Alright, I think that's it for now. Alright, day 2 of trying this again. Knocked on the carb a little bit. I don't think it's going to do anything. I think I'm probably going to have to pull that carb out and really redo it. But let's see if we get anything this time. Especially now that I hooked the S-wire up, which I didn't have hooked up before, because I'm a dummy. Alright. Oh my god, it's running. Holy. Guess I shouldn't have swore. It's not running well, but it's running. Alright, let's see if that was a fluke. Oh my god. It is not happy about it. But we got oil pressure. Says we got a quarter tank of fuel. I don't like that. And it is not happy. But folks, she is running. I've got some updates. It is not vibrating nearly as bad now. Didn't even change the plugs and wires yet. Still not getting any fuel out of the mechanical fuel pump. So I think I'm gonna have to drop the tank. I don't want to replace the pump with that old tank still in there and any gas that's in there. I'm gonna dump the tank out and see what we can do. But it seems to be running a lot better than a little bit ago. Alright, so I could feel the fuel pump pulsing when I was on the line. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take that line right there, coming from the tank off, and I'm going to run this from the boat tank down there into there, essentially bypassing the tank. And then we'll run this up to here. We're gonna make our connection back there. I had this off because I didn't want it pumping with the old fuel pump in there. And see if we can get fuel all the way up there with the mechanical pump. If that's the case, then I either have a plug somewhere between here and the tank, or that tank is just completely empty, which I don't think it is, because I put in like 3/4 of a gallon of gas, so it should have done something, even if it was empty from before. So let's see what happens. Alright, small change of plans. So I've got the fuel line running away from the belt, up and into the pump. Okay, and then that fuel line comes up to here, and again, instead of hooking it up to the carb, what I did is hooked it up to this here and down into here. Now there's a little bit of gas from when I dumped earlier, but the idea is here, when I hit the remote starter here, I should, if that pump is good, be seeing fuel coming out of here at some point. I'll see what happens. It might start, because there was I shut it off with fuel in it, so it might actually go for a little bit. Let's see. Hey, that's good. That's very good. Our pump is good. Alright, so one more test. I got the boat tank hooked up to the fuel pump. Fuel pump run up and into the fuel filter and carburetor. So, will she run off of her own fuel pump? Again, there's some leftover fuel in there. I believe I would call that a victory. Running off of her own fuel pump. Hot darn. Alright, the next thing I'm doing, this is a little hard to see. Up in here, there are these bolts that hold on the fuel tank straps. I gotta drop this tank. And to say that they are a pain in the butt to get off is an understatement. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut these off and just get new straps for this. But yeah, that's the next step. All right, so we got a fun test to make here. We've got the fuel pump electric hooked up to the actual fuel line, and that's run under the boat tank. And then I'm gonna hook up the battery to that. And what should happen is fuel should go through the hard lines up to the hard line front that I have running into a bucket. If those fuel lines are clear, which I hope they are, we're about to find out. Oh, I hear something. That is fuel going into the bucket. That's a good thing. All right, so I'm running into one issue. I've got this new grommet on this new tank. This is the old fuel filler neck. I've sanded it down. Getting this to fit in there under the car has been pretty much impossible. But what I've done is I got a heat gun to heat this up. And I've also got some Vaseline to put on here. And we're going to try and slide it in through there up here and then move underneath the car and try it while we're under there. I also replaced the vent fuel on here and the grommet, obviously. And then there's a new sending unit in the new tank as well. Alright, so heat, Vaseline, and a lot of pushing. That is in there now. So now I need to hook up the vent. It's up there. Cut and hook up the fuel line. Run the straps up here. Strap them in, and then pour some gas in it and see if it'll run off its own fuel tank. Alright, so tank is in. Straps are on. Vent tube is on up there somewhere. And the new fuel line is hooked up to the new sending unit. So we're going to screw in filler neck up here, put the gas tank cap back on, and see where we go from there. Add some gas and hit the key. Yeah, it's getting dark, but it is dark. There's the new fuel line hooked up. Don't ignore the play that's in that steering shaft. Holy cow. But anyways, yeah, we're gonna put a battery in, put some gas in it, and see what happens. Alright, so battery's hooked up, fuel lines are hooked up. Fuel pump is good. Give this a few pumps. Let's see what happens. Once again, she's not running happy, but I'm gonna see if I can get that to. There's some left in the carburetor from yesterday. I'm a little concerned that it's reading empty, even though I put about 5 gallons in it. But just smoothing out a little bit. Not 100%, but at least it's something. That's definitely pulling fuel from the tank, though. There, she's smoothing out. Oh, shut off. I think the battery cable came loose. Let's see. Yeah, start right. Come on, it's a lot of fuel line, I know. It's a mechanical fuel pump, so it's gotta keep going a little. Huh. It's a couple of days later. I was not getting any fuel to come out of the tank at all. And I think what I had was the sending unit was in like this. And if you turned it just a little bit more, it put it all the way to the bottom. So I reinstalled the sending unit after lots of gas going everywhere. And a new gasket, because the gasket had already swelled too much. So that's all done. I got fuel to come out of the sending unit with the electrical pump. So now I've hooked up all the fuel lines again, and we're going to give it a try and see if we can get it to start on its own fuel this time. There it goes. Running on our own fuel tank. Not well, but running. Very cool. Also, while I have this off and I replaced that fuel line there, I'm also going ahead and swapping out fuel filters. I don't think there's anything wrong with this one, just dirty on the outside, but while I have it here, I'll replace it. Alright, so here we are under the car on the lift. These rotors and pads actually look okay, but while I'm here, I'm going to replace the calipers, the rotors, and do the bearings and everything. Brake line. Hopefully I can get that off. And eventually shock will go as well. Here we are with the spindle off, hubs off here, brakes are off, obviously all that, and getting ready to, there's the old rotor and hub, the old bearing seals, all that fun stuff. Ready to throw new bearings, seals, calipers, all kinds of fun stuff onto there. You're playing with that stick. Yeah. You're playing with that stick. A good little friend. So I wasn't able to get that brake hose off right there. That's a pain in the butt. But for now, until I come back and hopefully heat that up, we got a new rotor, bearings are all done, the pads are new, calipers new, all that, so a little bit of progress. That's the next day. Here's the other side done. This side obviously went a lot better. Still couldn't get that fitting off of there, but I'm gonna hope the line's okay here, soft line. Yeah, new caliper, new pads, new rotor, and all new internals in the bearings and races. So that's it. All right, all pretty now. We got new wires and plugs, and yeah, we're gonna fire it up and see how she runs. The fog lights even work. Look at that. There we go. Smoothed out. Well, I'll take that as a win. I didn't do the other side on a video, but I am replacing the wheel cylinders on both these. I'll leave the shoes and drums, so they're okay, but these wheel cylinders are shot in back, so we're gonna go ahead and replace those. Luckily, both of them, the brake lines came off easily, so not too big of a deal. I adjusted the idle screw. It was idling at almost like 2,000 RPM. So I adjusted the idle screw down, and now she's running nice and smooth. Much, much, much better. So we got the old master out, putting in a new one. And yeah, then hopefully all the brakes are done. All right, so the new master's in. Gotta go bleed the brakes. I also got a new breather cap to replace the one that goes into this. It's just easier, less stuff in the engine. So it's a nice Ford Motorsport retro there. So time to bleed the brakes. So I was not getting any flow out of the rear wheel cylinders. So I am going to be replacing this line, which mounts here into the rear end, and by some miracle, all of these fittings have come loose. So I still haven't been able to do it on the fronts, but at least here on the backs. And again, I'm going to replace this line, and then hopefully the rear wheel cylinders will bleed up. All right. Now we'll see. She goes a little bit. the cassette player works. Next thing to replace is the fuel pump. I don't know if you can see, there's a little bit of leakage from somewhere. I don't know, it's probably the gasket. Fuel pump works just fine, but I think this is the original, so I'm going to go ahead and swap it out with the Carter here. So as I expected, fuel pump's fine. The gasket, as you can see there, is gone, so that's what was causing that little leak that I had. But again, I'm going to scrape all the old gasket material off of there, clean that up, find the fuel drip, and put the new one on. Before I show you, I put the new fuel pump in. This is the old one. You don't see that very often anymore. Made in the USA, and Ford blue on that color is kind of cool. So there's the new Carter. This is actually a Carter as well, but new fuel pump's in. We're gonna give it a try, and yes, I did hook back up the coil wire, if you noticed before I had that off, so that I could get that bolt back down there even a little bit better. It's been a minute. We got a new air filter sticker on there. We've done the oil. Right now we're doing the coolant there. I also replaced this coolant temperature sensor that's back here. I don't know if that was actually bad or not, but I could not get this thing to go above like the sea and cold, which I guess isn't a bad thing, but wasn't really sure, so just figured I'd replace it and see what happens with it. But yeah, we also got new wheels and tires. That's a very good thing. Now they're 16 inches, so I can run regular tires on it. I've ordered a new air filter hose to go and connect up the actual cold air from the fender, and yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. So after the oil change and coolant change and all that, and change the power steering fluid too, it's a lot quieter. Not a lot of valve train noise at all. The only thing you hear is the belts and pulleys, because you know they're old, but alternator's charging, and how much more you can ask for in here in the engine. Now it's going to be on the suspension, the rag joint there, shocks, clutch, valve cover, the valve cover, and it's about where we're sitting. Alright, so we got another one of these air intake hose there. That's all together. I got all these bolts loose for the valve cover and for taking off the coil off the side there for the coil bracket there. So the next time we're going to do that valve cover and get it back on there. And yeah, it's coming together. I also did a redneck rebuild of the paint on the oil pan there. Got a little bit extra there, but that's alright. I'll clean that off at some point. But yeah, so it's coming along slowly but surely. This is what was left of the valve cover gasket. There was not much left. Some of it's still on here, so I gotta scrape it, but overall things don't look too bad. But it was definitely leaking oil all over the place out of this thing, so definitely need it replaced. Here's the new gasket, valve cover gasket. It's painted now. All that's cleared off, cleaned off, so ready to put this on there. Alright, all back together. The valve cover's tightened down. Things on there. I painted this bracket here so it's not all rusty anymore. I also painted the air cleaner connector there, and I changed the color of the blue underneath to match, so looks a little better. Anyways, it's coming along. Now really, all we have to do yet is that rag joint right there, and the suspension, and clean everything up, and she's ready to be done. Doing a little bit of painting the wiper arms. I'm gonna paint this mirror, and then back there I've got that front cowl that I got painted there too. So a little bit of painting. So here's my carb. It's a Holly 1946. Took it off of there. So you see there's a little gap there. And I can't really do it one-handed, but that is very loose. So what's happening is there's air getting in there. Kind of see there. Let me tilt it a little bit. Pull. See how much that can give there? So there's two screws underneath here. One there and one there. It's dripping gas out. Those need to be tightened, so I'm gonna pull them out, Loctite them, and then put them back in. So I'm on my way to get it inspected, and I'm wondering if that's bad. That's the rag joint that needs replaced yet. Been a while. So it's at home now. We got a new radiator cap, custom cap that a guy on Facebook makes. The rag joint has been replaced, thank goodness, and there's a new clutch in there, which is awesome. So it runs and drives great now. I don't know, I do have a converter to convert this to a 2-barrel, and I bought a 2-barrel carb. I don't know if I just keep having fun with it, maybe I'll wait and hold off on doing that. I also have a set of headers to put on this as well, but that's going to be hopefully a little bit down the road. Here we are back at the garage again. Just got in here to do my rear shocks. They're over there, and that is a star bit, not a nut and bolt like I was expecting. So a little bit of a hold up here, but I'll show you what happens when the new shocks are on. So we're waiting for that star bit for the rears. I'm going to pull off the fronts here. One's off already. I found it easier to take an impact on the nut here first, get that spun loose, and then that side will spin, and then you can hold it. It's blue Loctite on there, but it came off okay. All right, quick update from some of the videos I saw online. They say that this is a 21 millimeter. It isn't. It is a 15/16, at least on mine. And so rear shock is out, as you can see there. To get that off, it's a this T55 Torx to get that out right there. And then on the inside of the channel here, right up underneath in here, there is a 3/4 lock nut in there that you got to grab from the inside with that 3/4. So time to put the new one in. Don't forget the bushings on the top there, and the one that's in the car, and then there's a washer there, and another washer on the other side. So there's one of the new rear struts in. Don't forget, there's a spacer metal piece that's in your old one that's going to have to come out and go in your new one. I almost forgot it. Alright, rear shocks are done. As you can see there, I finally got the washers right. One washer goes here, one washer goes in the other end here, and then when you have the spacer in here, you don't need the washer. That's here. But all in, all tightened down, put the back tires on, and then try the front again. Another thing I found interesting, again, these Steady Rider gas shocks were made in the USA, and I thought that was kind of unique, but come over to my new Monroes, also made in the USA. How about that? So the old shock in the front here is out now. I was being kind of dumb, and I was only taking the center nut off of here, and not the 3 strut mounting nuts. But This strut mount is all one piece, and it is not looking like it's replaceable. The one I bought from the Mevotech here looks like it's just the center part, which is fine. That's the bushing part, but I mean, there's just no way that you can take this thing apart to even replace that center part. Or I don't know how. I mean, maybe you have a press or something, but even that, I don't know. Maybe this is all just one solid part. But anyways, this will go back in, and I get the new shock on. Here's the old front shocks and the new front shocks. You have to reuse the dust boot there, obviously, and like I said before, you got to reuse this whole thing. This is the mounting bracket, and then the whole thing here. Still got to tighten this down because it's got one of the slots in there, so you can't really use a gun on it. You got to use your wrench and something flat through there so that you can tighten it without spinning. But suspension's done. Getting back at the Capri here, we have another thing that's gone since the last time I was on here, and that is the brake booster right there. So I'm going to go ahead and here and start this. I'll show you what's happening. So everything's normal, right? Now when you hit the brake, vacuum leak and a hissing sound. Brake booster's gone. So we're gonna put in a new one of those today. All right, first step to taking off this brake booster is actually to take off the distribution box here for the brake lines. So what I did is took the wheel off here, right there, 2 1/2-inch nuts. I'm going to soak those down with some WD-40, yank those off, and that should pull the distribution box off. Then, when I eventually take the master off, I can pull the master towards me here and remove the brake booster without having to remove the brake lines, so that I don't have to bleed all the brakes again. That's the plan anyways. So once you get that out, which you did, there's 4 bolts. You can see 2 of them there, 4 nuts rather. They need to come out. There's 2 that are hidden up there. Just got to use some extensions. There's one, and then the other one's behind there to get those out. Now I need to take off that brake switch, take off the cotter pin that's back there, and the thing, and remove the actual brake booster from the brake pedal itself. Once I had the cotter pin and the spacer and the brake light switch and took the booster rod off, okay, I had to take the 2 nuts off there and there for the master. I also soaked the check valve down here with the hose. So now I should be able to pull, you can see the box is off there, should be able to pull the master off like so. Move it out of the way. Now that was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. So there is a, I don't know, kind of a gasket or a sealant or something that's on there that you have to kind of fight through. And then I found it easiest to take the coil off. Just tucked it over there, to be able to have enough room to get this out, up, and out of here. Alright, so here's the new one in. Like I said, I took off the coil. It was just a whole lot easier to get that out with the coil over here. So hook up the check valve hose, put the 2 bolts back in for the master. I'm gonna have to put the 2 for the portioning valve in the fender, and then I can put the tire back on. And then I gotta go in and put back on the brake switch, spacer, hook that on to the actual pedal itself, 4 bolts, and that should be it. So I had to cut the audio out of this because I was blasting Van Halen, and it's going to get demonetized if I leave that on here. But this is the car leaving the 2025 Wildwood Fall Classic Car Show on the boardwalk. This was always the dream with this car, was to put it on the boardwalk for the show that I was going to forever. So this is a dream come true. After sitting for 27 years, the car got to go in the show that I always wanted to see it in. So it was a great experience overall, and I can't wait to see what I can do next with this car. Thank you, everybody, for following along on my journey, and hope you all have a great rest of your day.
I see.